safe place right now. Kicked off your shoes, let's go ahead and put some shoes on, because if you see any damage in your area, or if maybe unfortunately to the structure, what you want to do is have on some sturdy shoes so you're not walking over splintered wood, nails, glass, things like that. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay, you can unmute me. Okay, continuing on our streaming here, we're looking at a tornado-warned storm that is just a couple miles, about 3 to 4 miles southeast of Plainview. In the next 5 to 10 minutes, it is going to cross Highway 70 as it sort of arcs southeastward toward Lockney. So obviously, we don't want to be on the highway or on the roadway in between Lockney and Plainview right now. To the north of the circulation center, which we'll identify in just a minute, the likelihood that you're going to see maybe up to golf ball size hail is going to increase again on the east side of Plainview, the east side of the county. And we'll switch over to a different radar product, and I'll get you an idea what's going on there. Let's go back to just, whoops, reflectivity for a minute. This, yeah. Okay, so there's a couple of, let me look at we're just going to kind of do some real-time analysis here. There's a couple of areas of concern on this, and I will highlight them here, and we'll stop the animation. We want to watch here just southeast of town. There looks to be like there might be a new pendant or lowering or possible developing hook echo on the south side of town. So we've been saying mainly south and east of town, but in Plainview, please go ahead and stay in your safe place, because we've got this area of intense reflectivity, meaning heavy rain and possibly golf ball size hail that is now moving in your direction. So Plainview, it may have calmed down the precipitation. It's about to pick back up. About 2 to 3 miles just to the west of downtown, a new hail core, a new precipitation core is coming in your direction. So that will come through in the next 5 to 10, 15 minutes at the outside. I'm going to go over to the velocity product and see what we see. Okay, once again, same area south of Plainview sees that rotation area. This is showing something of a little bit of what we call side lobe contamination. As the radar beam goes out to the storm and bounces back, sometimes on the edges of the storm, for lack of a better term, it can be contaminated a little bit and get a little blotchy looking, like that one right there. It can also absolutely be rotation. And based on this movement, we want to go ahead and mention again for Lockney, you are not in the tornado warning, but in the next 5 to 10 to 15 minutes, there could be an extension of this warning. And let me just double check on it. What is the time on this one? Do we know? There's 9 minutes left on this one, so that goes up until right until 5 o'clock. The Weather Service in Lubbock will decide here in the next couple of minutes if they're going to extend that warning or not, based on spotter reports and also based on what they're seeing currently on radar. So we'll go back to the reflectivity. This is the intensity of the rain. Good news here on the east side of Plainview. See how the purple disappears? That's an indication that maybe it has, for the moment, dumped its load of hail, if you will. It's still some heavy precipitation. We'll see if a new updraft develops or not, but the intensity of this storm has diminished a little bit with regard to the hail that is north of Highway 70. So east of town, north of 70, northwest of Lockney, expect the rain to pick up. Along the highway and south of the highway, that's where we're going to see the biggest or greatest potential for that rotation. And as we saw the other day, these can drop pretty quickly in a matter of just a couple of minutes. So be prepared. If you haven't gone to your safe place, be prepared to do so fairly quickly. Again, we're talking about this area. Oops, let me get to the pencil tool. We'll get to this area right here. That's a notch that could show some rotation, not real strong now. That's the primary one. But then again, just southwest and south of town, I want to watch that one very carefully as well, as the classic place for a tornado or tornadic rotation to develop is on the southwestern side of the storm, and that is clearly there, so that's why we want to keep that going as well. All right, I'm going to pause here and look at the chats. We're kind of on the edge of both the Amarillo National Weather Service as well as Lubbock, and I want to see what they're doing in the chat. Okay. Continuing for Tulia storm, downgrading size to quarter hail in Tulia, so some new information from Lubbock right there. For Amarillo, I'm going to check. They are seeing some lightning near Kenton, main line of storms. We'll come up and look at the radar in Amarillo in just a minute. Just kind of, again, doing some real-time analysis here. The Happy storm has a more easterly trajectory, not expected to impact Canyon. Good news there. It will most likely stay south of Paladuro Canyon at this time. So once again, on the stream, on the radar imagery right now, what you are seeing is a tornado-warned storm that is over and just on the south and the next minute or two on the east side of Plainview. I'll get you just a moment of motion on that so you can see where it is going to move. It's going to move just to the northwest of Lockney and again over Highway 70 right now. Let's go up and check on some of our other storms. These two cells, one over Tulia, there's some small hail there, so especially if you're on the north side of town, within 5 minutes or less, you're going to get some small hail. And by small, I'm saying dime size, maybe a few nickel size hailstones, a couple stones, maybe just a little bit bigger. But on the north and northeast side of Tulia, in the next 5 minutes or less, you will be getting some hail there. And then northeast of Crest, we see another bright red and dark red and purple area. That's getting out obviously over open country, and that cell going northeastward will stay west of where it says Silverton there.
Rotation on the Tulia and Happy storm is pretty much non-existent.
Okay, thank you. Here's the Happy storm that was mentioned, and you see the polygon, the kind of triangle, the yellow triangle there in Swisher County. That is what remains of the severe thunderstorm warning for that storm. As it's going over Happy right now, your rain, if anybody's listening in Happy, is going to end in just a minute or two, but I see a little bit of enhancement on the orange and the red and the darker red coloring that is going to clip the southeastern portion of Randall County, again getting out into open country, but it looks like the Weather Service is not prepared to extend that warning just yet. Again, obviously we have in Tulia a severe thunderstorm warning there for the potential for, again, that at least dime to nickel size hail. And in that last image there, you see the, let me stop it and just give you a chance to process that. That pink just west of where it says Tulia. Now we could be starting to look at least inside the thunderstorm, some golf ball size hail. Those might melt a little bit as they come on down, but that's crossing the highway pretty much now on the north side of Tulia, and then we'll continue east of 27. All right, quick check on our tornado warned storm in and around Plainview. And just to get you an idea of what we're doing, in about 5 minutes, we're going to start the 5 o'clock news, and Sheldon will have an update there. But that's our reflectivity in Plainview right now. The bulk of that storm is going to be moving west of Plainview within the next 5 minutes. Please, in Plainview and around, stay in your safe place for another few minutes. We will try and give you the all clear when the threat and that cell has moved on by. Let's check some of our other storms, and we're also going to change radars and look at the Amarillo. We've been showing you the Lubbock radar for the past few minutes, but we've got other storms across the area. This one has a severe thunderstorm warning on it right now, just to the west of Channing. That one easily has nickel-size hail or larger. Again, it's out over open country at the moment, but it is moving in a northeasterly direction. So in Channing, you're going to probably start hearing some thunder if you haven't already, and that will increase in frequency. And then I think we're probably 5 or 10 minutes away from maybe some light rain, and then closer to 15 to 20 minutes for some heavier rain that at this point on this trajectory looks like it will move just west of town. So again, no immediate threat in Channing, but you are under a severe thunderstorm warning, and so we want you to be prepared that that is moving, in your direction. Hartley, not getting any rain right now, but you can see the lighter precipitation and the anvil cloud approaching Hartley. So basically what's going to happen, I think that storm is going to go right near and to the west and northwest of Channing, cross the highway in between Channing and Hartley. If you know anybody traveling in that direction or wanting to come south from Hartley or north from Channing, you might want to get them on the phone and advise them not to do that at this point. Let's go further back into Union County, west of Clayton. We've got some strong thunderstorm activity there near Grenville, just west of town where it says the town. That is some very, very heavy rain and hail that's moving across the highway in between Grenville and Des Moines right now. That will continue into the north central portion of Union County. Let's go back and check now, since we're just going to keep cycling around on our tornado warn storm. And this one expires at 5, right, Sheldon? Yeah, we got 3 more minutes. So let's see what Lubbock has to say about maybe extending that warning. Have they commented here? Let me go back to the Lubbock chat.
So far, no.
Oh, there's a little mezzo update. Why don't you, can you summarize that, Sheldon? And I'll comment on this storm, and I'll come to you and let you summarize what those paragraphs are. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Okay. So as I analyze this in real time, in Plainview, let's stay in your safe place for another 5 minutes. The storm is moving east of town, away from town, and the bulk of it, thank you, will stay north of Lockney. So not a problem in Lockney. Still be prepared if something new develops to move to your safe place. But again, things should improve in Plainview, and the tornado warning will expire in about 3 minutes. What are the chat folks saying, Sheldon?
Yeah, basically right now saying, of course, with these isolated storms that are popping up, basically conditions are still primed for, of course, tornadic activity. We did have a brief touchdown, but best we know right now, no confirmed touchdowns since that one. But of course, as these storms continue to track east, those conditions are still favorable. That a brief tornado is still absolutely within the realm of reason. So as these, even though that tornado warning should be expiring here in just a few minutes, that threat for tornadoes isn't exactly going away, as we still have that tornado watch still in effect.
Okay, very good. So I think our plan will be to start the 5 o'clock news in just a minute or two, and as they do that, we can go ahead and end the stream, because the tornado warning for that storm will be allowed to expire at this point from the Weather Service office in Lubbock. As we're looking, real good on the velocity product. Again, what we're looking on this is Doppler radar. What you're looking at is, it is showing raindrops or wind moving toward or away from the radar site. And this is the Amarillo radar site, so it's a little closer. In fact, before I say anything, let me go back to the Lubbock radar site and get a closer look at this storm. Okay, so bright red is away from the radar. Bright green is toward the radar. And you don't want to see, but for a tornado, you have bright red next to bright green. See, especially the bright red is decreasing in intensity and coverage, and the closeness of those two things is spreading apart. So that means the rotation signature inside the storm, inside the mesocyclone, is weakening a little bit. Therefore, it is less likely to be producing or trying to produce a tornado. And that's what the Weather Service is looking at. That's what they're checking right now, and that's why they're not, it appears, going to extend that tornado warning beyond 5 o'clock. How far are we away from the show? Okay, let's go ahead and end
All
the
right, well,
stream
welcome
and
in
show them what's
everyone
going on
here
TV.
to your Live at 5, of course, keeping track of a tornado warning in effect right now over the top of Plainview. As you can see, that main cell has now tracked past Plainview, is now tracking towards the Lockney area. There was a brief touchdown with this particular storm. We should be seeing that tornado warning expiring any second now, but we are going to keep tabs on this, but it's currently tracking east. Still, tornado warning is active, so this is still the time if you are in the path of this storm. As you can see it tracking east right now over Highway 70 up towards the east-northeast. Be enacting that safety plan, be taking cover. We're going to be providing updates. We're waiting to see if this tornado warning does indeed become expired here in just a little bit. You'll see that rotation relatively weak right now. That's a good sign. That should mean the tornado chances are a little bit lower, but like I said, still an active tornado warning, so still do not take this storm lightly. Zooming out just a little bit, taking a look at what we'll be breaking down here in a little bit. All those counties you see there in yellow, that is a tornado watch. All these counties